Kids. Today we are starting a series called Transformed. In this series, we are going to take a look at some people in the Bible who have face-to-face encounters with Jesus and walked away totally and completely transformed. Today's lesson involves a time when Jesus was assumed to have shown up a little bit late. Have you ever been late to something? Maybe you arrived late for school and everyone was staring at you while you were walking in to take your seat. Isn't that embarrassing? When we are late, we always have a good reason, or at least an excuse, as to why we are late. We want everyone to understand and give us a break. But when someone else is late, and you are the one having to wait on them, it is a little harder to deal with, isn't it? To help understand a little more about what we are going to be talking about today, I want you to watch this video.
Hello there, everyone. My name is Eleanor, and I am your host for Transformed. This is a show where we actually get to talk one-on-one with people who came face-to-face with Jesus. That's right, we get to actually speak with people from the Bible. They got to walk and talk with Jesus. You're probably wondering, what kind of time machine do you own that enables you to go all the way back to Bible times? My answer to that is don't be silly. I didn't go back to Bible times for these interviews. Instead, I brought those people here, now. There's no time like the present. In this series, we are going to learn from people who spent time with Jesus and were transformed. That means they were completely changed. My first interview is with a man who was totally transformed from death to life. You heard me right, from death to life. His name is Lazarus, and I sat down and talked with him just the other day. Hello, Lazarus. Welcome to my show.
It's good to be here, and it's good to be alive again.
Lazarus, we have heard many stories about what happens after life. How was it being dead for 4 days?
Well, the first thing I noticed was the silence. I have two sisters, Mary and Martha. It was pretty great to be in a place where there was no more nagging from my sisters about leaving my sandals out or complaints about my stinky feet. That part was nice. And then there's the ultimate power nap. You wake up totally refreshed after 4 days, let me tell you.
I can imagine. Anything bad about the afterlife?
No, not really. Oh, well, there's no Wi-Fi. That's a bummer.
I see. How about your family and friends? How did they react to you coming back to life?
Oh, the reactions were priceless. My sister Martha, she first thought I was a ghost and she tried to shoo me away with her broom. Mary, she just fainted. And then my friends, they all wanted to touch me to make sure I wasn't a hologram.
A hologram? They did not have those back in Bible times.
Huh. Good point.
Hilarious. But there must have been some touching moments too.
Definitely. When Mary realized it was really me, she gave me the biggest hug ever. And then my friend Simon, he just kept saying how I owed him for the funeral feast.
Well, I know that the only way you were able to live again was because of Jesus.
You better believe it. Jesus is the one who performed the miracle. He transformed me from dead to alive.
I can only imagine how incredible that was for you. I know the kids are going to learn all about that in their lesson today.
There's a lot I learned from the experience, so I'm sure they will learn a lot as well.
For sure. Well, before I let you go, I would love to ask you, did anything change for you after coming back?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to sleep now. Every time I doze off, somebody pokes me just to check and make sure I'm still alive. And every time I complain about a headache or something, people are like, well, at least you're not dead.
Any final advice for our audience?
Yes, trust Jesus. He's the only one who has the power to transform your life. And it's never too late to be transformed.
Thank you, Lazarus. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have for today. Tune in next time when we interview another person who came face to face with Jesus and was transformed. Bye-bye.
Jesus is never too late. He's always right on time. The problem is that we don't always like his timing. We want things to be done on our time. We have to learn to trust God and his timing. If we trust him, we'll find out that it's never too late to be transformed. We will learn all about that today. Right now it's time to find out what you gotta know.
What you gotta know? What you gotta know?
Hey there, cool cats! I'm Peggy Sue, and I'm here to tell you what you gotta know. We're starting a nifty new series called Transformed. We are learning lessons from people who came face to face with Jesus and walked away transformed. Today, we're learning how Jesus brings the dead to life. So, every time someone asks you what you gotta know, you tell them, God can bring the dead to life. God brings the dead to life? That sounds kind of spooky. No way, little lady. It's not like that at all. It isn't? Nope. God has amazing power, and he can turn any situation around. It doesn't matter what is going on in your life. It is never too late to be transformed. So, every time someone asks you what you gotta know, you tell them, God can bring the dead to life. And that is what you gotta know. I'm Peggy Sue saying, see you later, alligator.
Hey there, fellow coders. My name is Zara Zimmerman, but you can call me Z for short. You may have heard of me before. I am the youngest cryptologist in the business. What's a cryptologist, you ask? Well, it's just a fancy word for code decipherer. You know, a person who deciphers codes. I prefer the fancy word. I created my empire at only 12 years old. Some say I just have a gift for codes. This is my studio, the place where I dedicate my time to deciphering the toughest of codes. Every day, people from all around the world send me codes they need me to break. It's a piece of cake. Today, we'll be deciphering the Powerverse. It should be coming in any minute now. Ah, there it is. Let's see what we have here. Time to get started on this code. You guys get to thinking. I'm gonna run it through my system. All right, looks like my system couldn't solve this one. I'm gonna need your help. Let's walk through it together. Siduous. What do we think that's supposed to mean? Oh, good idea. It could be a scrambled word. Let's run it through a scramble algorithm. That's right. It's the word Jesus. Nicely done. Jesus told her, I am the resurrection, the life. I've never seen a code like this before. What is that supposed to be? Perhaps it could be a word that is missing letters? Blank in blank. What could this word be? Aha! And! Yes! We nailed that one, team. Anyone who believes in me will live 2468 after dying. Well, this is odd. What could this mean? Oh, it's not odd at all. It's a list of even numbers. It should be the word even. We've done it! Time to read it all together. Stand with me and read the Powerverse on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Jesus told her, I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even after dying. John 11:25. Fantastic work, team. I couldn't be more proud. Well, looks like I've got another code coming in. Until next time, this is Z. See you soon, team.
Today's Bible story is found in the book of John, chapter 11. In this chapter, we find Jesus and the disciples ministering in a little town when they are approached by a messenger. The messenger said to Jesus, "Your friend Lazarus is very sick." Lazarus was indeed Jesus' close friend. Jesus had become close friends with Lazarus and his two sisters, Mary and Martha. But even though Jesus heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was for 2 whole more days instead of going back to visit Lazarus. Finally, after 2 days, Jesus decided to go visit Lazarus. When Jesus arrived, he was met by Lazarus' sister, Martha. She was very upset and was crying because Lazarus had already died. In fact, Lazarus had been dead for 4 days by the time Jesus had arrived. Crying, Martha told Jesus, "If only you had been here, my brother would not have died." Martha knew that Jesus had the power to heal the sick, but now she felt like it was too late for Lazarus because he was already dead.
Jesus told Martha, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even after dying." Then Jesus went to the tomb where they had buried Lazarus. Lazarus' other sister, Mary, told Jesus the same thing. "If you had been here, Lazarus would not have died." Jesus cried. He loved Lazarus, and he loved Mary and Martha. But Jesus knew that he was about to do something that would amaze everyone who was there. Jesus ordered that the people move the large stone that had covered Lazarus' tomb. Martha said, "Jesus, are you sure you want to open the tomb? He's been dead for 4 days. He stinks terribly by now." The stone was rolled away, and Jesus stood a little ways away from the tomb. He called out toward the tomb, "Lazarus, come out!" Moments later, guess who come walking out of the tomb? Lazarus appeared at the entrance of the tomb. He was alive. Wow! Talk about being transformed. Lazarus went from being dead to living instantly. Mary and Martha thought it was too late. Jesus proved that it is never too late to be transformed. In your lesson today, you are going to learn the same lesson that Mary and Martha learned. Even though it may look like there's no chance for a transformation, it is never too late with God.
Don't you just hate it when someone is late? Have you ever had someone who was supposed to meet you somewhere at a certain time, but they were late? I know I have. I've also sometimes been that person. Oops. All you can do is, well, wait. It's never fun though, isn't it? Like, just to wait for someone. But it's even worse when someone is not just late, but too late. As in, the event is over and they never showed up. That really makes us upset, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly how Mary and Martha felt in the story today in John. They had sent for Jesus to come visit their brother. And while he was very sick, so that he could be healed, they're like, "Jesus, we know you. You can heal him right now, so come on." Jesus showed up after the brother had already been dead. Mary and Martha were so upset that they said, "Jesus, if you had been here, our brother would not have died." In other words, "You're too late, Jesus. He's already dead. It's too late now." They assumed that Jesus just didn't understand what was going on, but they were wrong. They needed to learn a lesson that each one of us needs to learn also.
Jesus knows what you are going through. Jesus wasn't taken by surprise when he arrived to find that Lazarus had already died. In fact, Jesus was already aware that Lazarus was dead. He knew. Remember, Jesus knows everything. He wasn't surprised that Lazarus was dead, and Jesus isn't surprised when things go wrong for you. He's not surprised when you're in need of a miracle. He knows exactly what you're going through. Jesus spoke with Mary and Martha, the sisters of Lazarus. The Bible tells us that when he saw how much pain they were in, Jesus wept. And this teaches us something important.
Jesus feels the pain you feel. Jesus hurts when we hurt. He loves us very, very, very much. When we feel pain, he feels pain. The people who saw Jesus weep said, "See how much Jesus loves Lazarus?" Jesus did love Lazarus. He also loved Mary and Martha. He felt the pain they were feeling. Jesus feels your pain as well. When you have a family member who's sick, Jesus feels your pain. When you have a huge need in your life, Jesus feels your pain. When you are sad and depressed, Jesus feels your pain. Jesus knows exactly how you feel, and he loves you, and he cares for you. Mary and Martha thought it was too late for their brothers to receive a miracle. They had waited and waited for Jesus to arrive, but he didn't arrive before Lazarus died. They forgot.
It's never too late to be transformed. Even though it seems like Jesus had arrived too late, Mary and Martha soon found out that it was definitely not too late. Jesus spoke and Lazarus came walking out of the grave. He had been dead for 4 days, but even death was not strong enough to resist the power of Jesus. It wasn't too late for Lazarus to be transformed from death to life. It's not too late for you either. Perhaps you had waited and waited for God to transform a situation in your life. Things may look like they were completely over, dead. You may be convinced that it is just too late for a miracle. With Jesus, it is never too late to be transformed. He can perform a miracle for you today. He can transform that dead situation you are facing and breathe life into it. It's never too late to be transformed.
Hey kids, welcome to the Rewind Review. Today we have Mr. Connor versus Mr. Devante. And so, they're ready. You ready? Good. Let's jump in to the first question today. What you gotta know? Right now.
God can bring
Yep.
the dead to life.
Yes, he can. He sure can. All right, one for Mr. Devante. Who was the friend of Jesus who died in our Bible story? I think he got it first.
He's quick.
Lazarus.
Yes. Wow, he's
Knew that
in
one.
like
I knew that one.
to get you. Okay, two to
I
Mr.
gotta-
Devante.
I just have to be a little.
Who was Lazarus' sisters? Okay, Mr. Devante. Mr. Connor.
I'll tell you.
No.
Mary and Martha.
Good
Is
job.
that a
Okay.
double point? Is that a double point?
No, even though I made a mistake. No. One for Mr. Connor, two for Mr. Devante. How many do you have? Hopefully you have 3.
4 points.
All right.
Crazy.
How long had Lazarus been dead when? Hey, I'm not done.
4 days.
Hold on.
Oh.
You gotta ask.
I didn't even get a chance.
Okay, let's redo this. How long has Lazarus been dead? Stop.
See, you
I thought that was
stopped it.
the
I
end
thought
of
that
that
was
question.
When Jesus arrived. There you go. 4 days. Okay. 2 and 2. What did Jesus do when he saw the pain that Mary and Martha were in?
He comforted them, and he wiped away their tears.
He did not. What?
Wept.
He cried.
Jesus wept.
He cried.
Jesus cried. He wept.
Which I feel like in a way is comforting. Like if I saw my Lord and Savior cry with me, I'd be like, wait.
Yeah, like the
okay.
compassion and the
Yeah,
love.
like
Yeah.
okay,
That's
that's really what I
assuming.
feel.
He had compassion and love, that's for sure. And I would be very happy. But yes, no, you're right. It's not in scripture. Okay, 3 to Mr. Devante. 2 to Mr. Connor.
I thought I got that last one.
Jesus wept? I said Jesus wept.
Yeah, but I said he cried.
The
But
answer
scripture
actually
is
says
Jesus wept.
he wept.
In the
Yeah.
Bible verse that I read, it said he cried.
That was a different translation, not NIV.
Oh, okay.
Like, what happened when Jesus spoke to Lazarus?
He came back
Sure.
to life. Oh, he walked.
Out of the 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Have a point to both. So 2.5 3.5. 3.5. Okay. According to our lesson today, Jesus blank what you were going through.
He like feels what we're going through.
Good question, but that's actually later on. Or answer.
Jesus knows?
Yes. Jesus knows what we're going through. So keep your answer in mind, though. Okay, so 4.5, 2.5. Here we go.
What did I say?
According to our lesson today, Jesus feels the blank you feel.
Is it the pain that we feel?
Yes. 3.5, 4.5.
Yes.
Here we go. According to our lesson today, it's never too late to be blank.
Oh, I know this. Transformed.
4.5, 4.5. One question left. Let's see who's gonna be the winner. Where was our power verse found today?
John 11:25.
Yes. Mr. Connor is the winner. And hopefully you got all of them right as well. We're so glad you joined us. See you next time.
So glad you were able to join us today for our first lesson in our Transformed series. I hope you guys will remember everything we learned about and enjoy today's lesson, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.